Oh, hello everyone. Hello. Robert's grabbing his water so he doesn't have to steal mine. I have a stain on my shirt apparently. Oh no, that's on the screen. That's funny.
What's going on, y'all? Robert Sykes, KetoSavage.com. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing great.
We just got done with MMA. We did a bunch of we did some grappling, not really grappling, we did some clinch work today. We did some leg sweeps, we did some kicks, we did some switch kicks. It's pretty good stuff. Learned a bunch.
Switch kicks.
Got thrown to the ground a few times, threw some people to the ground a few times. It was good. All right, so we're going to start off the discussion today with a little topic of intuitive eating versus tracking macros. You want to start off?
No, go ahead.
At the end, I think we probably already had this conversation before. At the end of the day, it's basically a matter of, are you where you want to be with your goal, or are you not? Like, if you're happy with your goal composition, if you're happy with your body fat, if you're happy with everything, you're healthy, and you can eat intuitively and maintain that, then more power to you. Like right now, I'm in a building phase, and I'm pretty much just ensuring that I'm getting enough calories, enough protein, enough fat, but I'm not really tracking. Like, I haven't tracked macros in probably, I don't know, probably close to a year now. But as soon as I go into a competition prep and I've got a very specific goal, I'm tracking everything to the freaking gram, because I'm going to be able to reach that goal much more efficiently when I'm controlling for the variables and tracking everything. So it really boils down to, are you where you want to be or not? And if you're not, then I would recommend tracking macros.
Yeah. And also, I think with intuitive eating, something to pay attention to is that you are getting enough calories. I think a lot of people do intuitive eating, and it can be a really good tool. It can be something that you just are able to. You're going to sit down?
Sorry, I've been working all day.
But if you are able to eat intuitively while eating enough, that's going to be the key in this situation. You look so weird being that low.
And a lot of people, they don't, like, a lot of people have a hard time eating enough if they are eating intuitively. Like, some people gravitate towards eating too much. Some people gravitate towards not eating enough. And neither is optimal. Like, if you're eating too much, then you're probably going to be putting on unnecessary body fat. If you're eating too little, then you're not going to be optimizing your body's ability to build more lean muscle tissue. And if you're chronically under eating, then your metabolism and your hormones are all going to suffer. So,
yep. Anytime you want to go into a cut or something like that, you're going to have to kind of start from ground one. But, you know, Robert and I do track a lot. And I think people just see us as like the people who track all the time. And we don't track all the time. Even right now, like during my whole pregnancy, I've tracked probably 1 or 2 days a week just to make sure that I'm like staying within the range.
Do you want to share?
No. Okay. But you know, when we're in a building phase or like, you know, maintenance, as some people would consider it, we don't really worry about tracking every second of every day. But when we are cutting and we're trying to obtain some of our goals, then it's important, and we're going to start tracking, and we're going to make sure that we're hitting those things on point. So when we're tracking, we are 100% in. We are all in. There is no cuts. There's no like
no cheats.
Yeah, no cheats, no cutting corners, no anything like that. Exactly. But when we're in our off season or building or whatever, we're not going to worry too much about overly tracking and things like that. But we do both have a minimum of like protein and fats and things like that we want to hit per day. And we hit that as a minimum, knowing that if we eat above that, then we'll be good to
go. James says hello from Illinois. What's up, James? Kayla says hello, savages. What's up, Kayla? Mike says, what's up, mommy and daddy? That is us. We are mommy and daddy. Hey, we were savages. Reading our baby thing, and our baby is now 11 inches tall.
Yeah, almost. It's like 11 and a half inches tall.
Hello, my last day of vacation, so I'll be back to watching you on replay. Awesome. TC's life. Yeah, I'm digging it. We got any questions on IG?
No, just a few
hellos. From Michigan. What's up,
hello
Jeremy?
From Michigan.
And the intuitive eating thing, like, I think it's important not to track very, very strictly year round, because then you'll kind of burn out. For me, I like being a little lax, loosening up on the reins when I'm in a building phase, that makes it more sustainable for me to be incredibly disciplined and accurate when the time comes to be disciplined and accurate during a competition prep phase.
Yeah, I think that that's true. I think some people do kind of lose control though. Like if they are not tracking, then they're going to crazy overeat or they're going to crazy undereat. And if that's you, then you kind of know yourself. Like you can track but not be crazy with it. Like you don't have to be on point. But if you give yourself like a range to be in, that's much better than being crazy strict 24/7. You know, you can do that. You can track 24/7 if you want to, but like Robert said, a lot of people get burnt out doing that, and they start to over concern themselves with it when they go out to eat with family or when they go to do this or do that. Like just take a chill pill. If you're in not a cutting period, if you're not trying to obtain certain goals, but don't overthink things. Just, you know, take it for what each phase is, each step. Where are you at? What are your goals? Is it worth the time and efforts mentally to track in that moment?
It's like a yin yang relationship. It's not yang.
What?
It's yin and yang.
Did you just learn that and now you want to tell the whole world?
No, like I use the yin yang, you know, relationship a lot when I talk about like being in a building phase, being in a cutting phase, tracking macros.
Someone
not tracking
correct you?
macros. Well, there's a guy on my podcast that dove deep into Chinese medicine, and it's pronounced yang, so yin and yang instead of yin and yang. Yeah.
From Michigan also. Definitely loved that podcast.
Nice. I need to start tracking. I tend to undereat unless my anxiety is high, and then I overeat. So that's weird. I'm the exact opposite. When I'm super anxious, I don't eat at all. Like I like don't eat. Kayla says in the My Macros Plus app, it's discouraging as a home cook to try and put an entire recipe into the macro calculator. Is there a trick to doing this? Yes, there's a trick to doing it.
Is there?
Yeah. So what I like to do
when Robert makes all of his recipes.
So in My Macros Plus, there's an option for custom recipe. And you can do like a big batch meal. So like, for instance, casserole. And then you put everything in there, like the entire pound or 2 pounds of ground beef, whatever it is that you're making it. And then it calculates the whole macros for that entire thing. And then you can do it by weight so that whenever you like dish yourself up like a 1/6 or an 1/8 or whatever of that dish, that big dish, you just simply weigh it out so that it's broken down by ounce at that point. And that makes it super easy.
So to make it a little bit more clear, when you are making this recipe, whatever this, the casserole, let's go with the casserole. If you're going to be making a casserole, then you're going to need to weigh the
total.
What?
The
No.
total.
You're going to need to weigh the dish that it's actually going to go into. And then when you add, you know, the eggs and the beef and all the things, put that in the macro tracker and then put it as a recipe and then weigh it at the very end and deduct what the dish weighs. And then you'll have it exactly how much it's going to be. So like if you make like a breakfast casserole and then you eat a slice of it every day, you can weigh it per gram or per ounce, however heavy it is. And you'll have it easier in your tracker. But then you can keep that recipe. If you really like that casserole, then you can have that, several different times and it's already in there as a recipe, but you do have to break it down that one time, which can be a little bit tedious, but that's how we do it all. Like that's how I do my chilies. Really anything that I make in a pot or a dish or something like that. And we want to track it. We'll just do it exactly that way.
Yeah. I like it.
I'm going to get a Sperta lamp so I can get more UVA and UVB rays.
Yeah, I think that podcast that I did that was all about light, that was pretty interesting. Like I had never had a guest on the show that really dove super deep into light like that and kind of opened my eyes for sure. So I'm kind of keen to try some of that stuff too.
I have been doing more intuitive since July when my health issues really started to interfere with my ability to eat. My weight was very constant until the loss of left eye when I was put on this almost. It didn't finish. When I was put on this almost.
What's the other half?
We'll see what you say when you finish that message there.
Like casserole, stir fries, etc. I do a lot of meal prep and I get a bit overwhelmed. I will work on them one at a time. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, give that a shot. I'm sure other macro trackers probably have that functionality, but it works pretty well with My Macros Plus for sure.
Yeah. And if you tend to eat the same thing, like if you tend to make the stir fry the same way or the casserole or the soup or whatever it is, if you tend to make it the same way, then it's super easy to have a recipe in there that you just know what you're doing every single time you do it. Almost no movement protocol. So now I am starting to gain, I can tell. I think I should get back to tracking to up my fat to see if it helps. However, I am so tired. I slept for 36 hours Sunday night through Tuesday. Yep. Wow. That's a lot of sleep. So that is a big thing. Something that is challenging is when you change something in your life. So intuitive eating can be really helpful if you are kind of staying consistent. But for those clients of mine that have like a knee surgery or have to be out for a little bit, or maybe have I have one client who has to not do leg workouts for just a few weeks. But those might be times where you want to start tracking because your metabolism is still high and you still are going to be able to eat the same amount of food, but you're not putting out as much energy as maybe you were before. So you might think about tracking just for like a week or so and see how much you're intaking. And if you're gaining or losing during that time, then adjust based off of that. But don't try to go under eat. And just cut a bunch of calories all of a sudden, but just kind of see where you're at. And if you're gaining consistently, then maybe just go down a few grams.
Go check out this baby bum. That thing's pumping.
Yeah.
You can't see it on YouTube, but you can definitely see it on Instagram.
Yeah. I can't show them.
That thing's getting big.
Yeah, it's definitely getting big. And it feels like so much pressure right now. Like I just drank a bunch of water.
What's Keto Theo say?
Why is it I do fine not eating, but sometimes when I start, I can't stop?
You're eating a bunch of calories right now, man. So it's interesting to me that you're still hungry like that. But for me, like when I'm in a big surplus, like I just don't even look forward to eating. So the fact that you actually like want to keep eating is meaning to increase your calories even more, man. There may be, because you've been training hard, you've been hitting PRs regularly. You may be at more of a maintenance now. We need to push you back into a little bit more of a surplus. So as you build more muscle, like if we got you up to 3,500 calories, for instance, and then your body, you know, you hit a bunch of PRs, you build more muscle. This takes time, obviously, but you hit a bunch of PRs, you build more muscle, you get more strength, you burn more calories. You know, that 3,500 calories may not be a slight surplus anymore. That may just be your maintenance. We may need to bump that up another 100 calories or so, 200 calories or so.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys struggle with work-life balance? Getting back into working how in hopes it helps my struggles. Maybe working out in hopes it helps my struggles.
I've always said balance is bullshit, honestly.
I don't really struggle with that, but Robert does.
I don't know that it's a struggle. I don't know that it's a struggle.
I do.
I don't like the concept of work-life balance at its core, because in a balanced relationship, so like imagine you've got a teeter-totter, you know, you've got work on one side, you got life on the other side. If life is going up, that means work in your career is suffering. And if you're a workaholic, then life is suffering. And so I don't like thinking of things in which case one is benefiting and one is suffering. So I've tried to build my life in such a way that it's like circular in motion, like everything benefits the whole. I
will say that most of the time, because we work together to build all the businesses and things like that, I understand when he has to work a little bit more. He understands when I have to work a little bit more, et cetera. It makes it a lot easier to balance everything. However, sometimes he gets into crazy work mode and like he can't stop. And sometimes that's a little bit of a struggle, but it's usually like all I have to say is like, hey, I really could use one whole night with you. Neither one of us look at our computers or our phones or whatever. And then we have that time to connect. We, get in whatever it is that we're needing, or I'm needing.
We do that tonight.
And yeah. It seems felt like he just asked me on a date.
You can go to Barnes and Noble.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we can go to Barnes and Noble. Anywho, I'm having a hard time breathing. This baby's moving its way up. So, anywho, what was I saying? You distracted me. Anyways, it can be a bit of an issue, but if you're open and communicate well with your spouse or your children or whatever, it might be a little bit easier when you are open with communication to make sure that nobody's feeling off. And if you love to work, like Robert loves to work, so I know he is filled when he is working. I am much more of like a homebody. I love to stay home. I do love my work as well, but I'm not going to be prone to like over crazy work unless I'm working on some sort of project or something, or I feel behind in work or something like that. So I think it's a balance per person, and finding what works really well for you and the people that are in your life is going to be key for sure. I hope that made any sense.
I don't know.
Whew. Crystal, are you taking clients right now or taking a break for your pregnancy? I've got this question a lot. I'm not taking a break. I'm going to keep working my little heart out. Even postpartum, I am going to drop a few different of the tasks that I do for the other businesses, but everything that I do for Lady Savage will keep going strong. I'll keep all of my clients that I currently have and gain over the next few months. And I will carry that through my pregnancy and postpartum as well.
Baby sags.
Baby sags. Meant to start working out, autocorrect to say, yeah. Love the baby bump. Do you see Sean Baker in Mark Bell's workout?
Yeah. I was looking. I mean, my phone's being used for Instagram, but it looked like, because they were doing Sean Baker versus Stan Efferding. Mm-hmm. And Sean Baker's natural, Stan Efferding's not natural. But it looked, I'm going to have to double check this, but it looked like Stan Efferding had more plates on his deadlift. Did he have more plates?
I don't think he had more plates, but he had more reps.
He did have more reps, but I'm pretty sure he had 5 plates to Sean Baker's 4.
Now I got to look it up. Was it on Mark's page?
Yeah.
I think it was on Sean's page.
It's on Sean's page. I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, either way, Sean Baker's a beast. I mean, so kudos to Sean Baker for sure.
Stinking beast.
But it looks like he's got 4 plates. You can see that picture. Go back to that picture.
No, he had a comparison of like all the weights and stuff right here. Okay, so yeah, 415 pounds, and Sean got it for.
Oh yeah, they both got 415.
Yeah. Sean got it for 22 reps.
I could have sworn in one picture it looked like he had more.
It did look like that, and.
Where'd that picture go? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just this. I don't know.
I think it's just the picture.
Yeah. But pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yep.
Same plate, same weight.
I find it hard.
On top of it.
I find it harder to be in touch with my appetite when I am sedentary.
Yeah, that's true too. Like when you train, you're so much more in tune with your body from like a recovery standpoint, from a satiety and hunger standpoint.
It looks like you had more than just one night together. Oh, that's funny. My wife works for the same company, and it's hard to turn it off. Yeah, it definitely can be hard. The same company that they do.
Yeah.
It definitely can be hard. Like there are some times where we're like having coffee in the morning, and we just start talking about business or the employees or whatever, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to stop. Like,
but we love what we do.
We do. You know? And we love our crew, and we love every aspect of it. But it's like, oh my gosh, let's talk about like farm animals or something. I don't know. We got to like change the subject because we do get involved with it so much. But I've had family members, like my dad and sister worked for the same company for a while, and then my dad and my brother worked for the same company for a while, and it is hard to not take it home and like talk about different things, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. You tend to just talk about your day, and when someone knows all the ins and outs, it's so much easier to talk about it. I'm eating my food per plan, and wow, it's hard when I have no taste or smell, #COVID. I can't taste my buttered maple pecan brick. Oh my gosh, you're going to have to put a hold on the brick until you can taste it.
Yeah, I've had a few people say that they can't taste their bricks when they're, got the COVID, which is crazy. Thanks for your insight.
I'm a straight up workaholic.
Yeah, I'm guilty as charged too.
Yeah, Robert is too.
All right, ladies and gents, we have a list of topics for next week still too. What do we got on that?
We still have like 3 different things. So we have mindset and consistency, lean bulking, and foods to eat when bulking.
I kind of like that. Let's just do a tag team on that. Lean bulking and foods to eat when bulking for next week's episode.
Next week's live at 5.
My little brother complains about not having a motivation going into the gym sometimes. He's a skinny guy. And of course, you can't make someone work. But what can I advise him?
Tell him that motivation is not a thing.
Yeah, motivation is such a fleeting thing. Like you can be motivated, for a very acute period of time. But it's all about discipline. Like our crew, Bryson and Dylan, it was kind of like pulling teeth to get them to work out, honestly, in the beginning. But now they work out every single day, and they're just beasts in there. Like Bryson hit a PR on deadlift of 325 at a body weight of like 122 or 121 or something like that. And he's, he's built a whole bunch of muscle. And it just takes like once you do it long enough to start actually seeing changes, and then you get excited about the changes, then it's really easy to maintain the motivation because you know that it's working for you. Mm-hmm. But you got to get through that initial hump.
Yeah, if you use the word dedication or if you use the word dedication, no one wants to say I'm not dedicated, I'm not disciplined. They can say I'm not motivated because motivated seems like something that you can have or you cannot have. But if you say I'm not disciplined, that just makes you sound not so great. So maybe have them use the word disciplined instead of motivated. I was also skinny when I first started working out, but I started working out to better my health and better my body and my future and things like that. So rather than just looking at the body composition of like, maybe I'm not motivated because I'm already thin or I'm already skinny or whatever, encouraging the health aspect of things, I think is so huge.
Yeah. Michael says, was housebound with COVID, couldn't get to the gym. When I got back, strength was up. Soreness was noticeable for first week. Yeah, I've had a few people say that they felt like body aches and everything for the first week or so. And then once they get back in there, they start to recover pretty quickly.
That's really good. Discipline and consistency, determination.
Off subject, could you do a video on the progress on your land? We honestly hadn't made a whole bunch of progress here lately.
We just walked the property this last weekend and tried to talk about a few things, but
I'm probably going to cut down a bunch of trees this weekend though.
So there we go. Good. Yeah, we not that it's been put on hold or anything, but it's just been really honestly just crazy. Robert had been traveling the majority of fall and winter. And so we this is the first month where we actually haven't had a plan every single weekend. So I'm excited to just start diving into things. And we were actually supposed to make a list this last weekend of when we wanted to accomplish things. But 2 things I would love to happen this year is a garden and chickens. If nothing else, if we don't get pigs or goats or whatever, garden and chickens. Those 2 things are so simple, pretty easy to put up the fencing and everything for that. So
we'll get you garden and chickens, baby.
I'm hoping that we can get that done this year.
Luckily he agreed to go to the gym with me tonight. Appreciate your response. Much love from Florida. Boy.
Awesome.
Put him through the paces in the gym, but don't burn him out so bad they don't want to come back. I'm very good at staying on track with my workout. Been up in the weights lately and finding that I'm more hungry. Only thing is scales going up. Not sure if it's muscle gain or fat. Well, if the strength is going up too, then you're probably putting on some muscle. So like you put on a little bit of body fat when you increase calories, but as long as a pretty good percentage of that is muscle and you're getting stronger, all your lifts are going up, your recovery is good, then it makes that little bit of fat gain that comes with it worthwhile, because you could lose the fat, but it's hard to build muscle. So capitalize on that muscle gain for sure.
Get the lady some chickens.
I'll get her some chickens. All right, ladies and gents, we will talk about lean gains and all that good
Foods
stuff.
To eat on it
next week. So until then, ta-ta for now. We love ya, and we will see you next time.
See ya.